The stadium was electric that night. The crowd's roar echoed through the cold air, banners waved like flames, and flashes from cameras lit up the stands. It wasn't just another football match, it was the clash of two giants, a battle that had been building for months. On one side stood Redchester United, desperate to prove they still belonged among Europe's elite. On the other, Bluebridge City, the reigning champions, confident, ruthless, and ready to crush anyone who dared to challenge the dominance. From the very first whistle, it was clear this would not be an ordinary game. The intensity was visible in every tackle, every sprint, every pass. Both teams came onto the field with a mission, not just to win, but to make a statement. The players knew millions around the world were watching, holding their breath, hoping to witness something unforgettable. And they did. In the opening minutes, Bluebridge took control of possession, their midfielders moving the ball with elegance and precision. Redchester struggled to find rhythm, their defenders constantly under pressure. The first chance came in the 8th minute when Bluebridge's star striker, Liam Harrow, received a perfect through ball and found himself one-on-one with the goalkeeper. The crowd gasped, but Redchester's keeper, Daniel Cross, threw himself to the ground, blocking the shot with his fingertips. The ball spun just inches wide of the post. The stadium erupted with relief. That moment changed everything. Redchester suddenly found confidence. They began pressing higher, winning duels, and breaking through the lines. The fans could feel it. A storm was coming. In the 20th minute, their captain Marcus Dale made a stunning run down the left wing, dribbling past two defenders before sending in a low cross. Ethan Cole, the young forward, darted into the box and smashed the ball home. The net rippled. The stands exploded. Redchester 1, Bluebridge 0. For the next 20 minutes, Redchester dominated. Every touch was cheered, every tackle celebrated. The home crowd believed. But Bluebridge were champions for a reason, they knew how to fight back. Just before half-time, in the 44th minute, they silenced the stadium. A corner kick curled in perfectly, and Harrow, determined to make up for his earlier miss, rose above everyone and headed the ball into the top corner. 1-1. The referee's whistle followed soon after, ending a breathtaking first half. The players walked off the pitch drenched in sweat, breathing heavily. The tension was thick. In the locker room, Redchester's coach reminded his team what was at stake: pride, legacy, and the belief of their fans. "You've got 45 minutes to show them who you are," he shouted. "Play with your hearts, not just your boots." The words echoed like a battle cry. When the second half began, both sides looked sharper, more focused. The pace quickened, and the tackles grew harder. The referee had to separate players several times as emotions flared. Every moment felt like it could decide the game. In the 57th minute, Bluebridge almost took the lead when their winger, Andre Silva, unleashed a curling shot from outside the box. It looked destined for the top corner, but once again, Daniel Cross made a miraculous save, diving full stretch to tip it over the bar. The crowd rose to their feet, chanting his name. Minutes later, Redchester counterattacked with lightning speed. Marcus Dale, ever the leader, sprinted down the flank again, cutting inside before laying the ball off to Ethan Cole. The young striker struck it first time, but it hit the crossbar and bounced out. The fans screamed in disbelief. The tension was unbearable. As the match entered the final 20 minutes, fatigue began to show. Players slowed down, touches became heavier, and mistakes crept in. Bluebridge's coach decided to bring on his secret weapon, Nico Alvarez, a young midfielder known for his creativity. His presence immediately changed the tempo. With fresh energy, Bluebridge regained control of possession, forcing Redchester deeper into their own half. In the 78th minute, the breakthrough came. Alvarez slipped a brilliant pass between two defenders to Harrow, who calmly slotted it past cross. The away section erupted in joy. Bluebridge 2, Redchester 1. For the first time that night, Redchester's fans went silent. Heads dropped, players looked exhausted, and the game seemed lost. But football has a way of turning despair into magic. With 10 minutes left, Redchester's coach made a risky decision. He substituted a defender for an attacking midfielder. It was an all-or-nothing move. The message was clear: go for it. The players responded. They began pressing higher, throwing bodies forward, refusing to surrender. The fans felt it too. Hope returned. The clock ticked into the 85th minute. Redchester pushed forward relentlessly, creating half chances and winning corners. Each cross into the box was met with desperate clearances from Bluebridge defenders. Time was running out. The fourth official signaled 4 minutes of added time. The atmosphere was unreal. Every fan stood, shouting, praying for a miracle. 90 minutes gone. 91, 92. Bluebridge were holding on, clearing every ball that came their way. Then came the moment that would define the night. In the 93rd minute, Redchester won a free kick just outside the box. Marcus Dale stepped up. The captain placed the ball carefully, took 3 steps back, and looked up at the goal. The entire stadium went silent. You could hear hearts beating. He took a deep breath and ran forward. The ball curled over the wall, dipping beautifully toward the top corner. The Bluebridge keeper leapt, fingertips stretched, but it was too late. The net shook. The stadium exploded in sound, a roar so loud it felt like the ground itself trembled. Marcus ran towards the corner flag, arms wide open, tears in his eyes. The team piled onto him in celebration. 2-2. The dream was alive. But the story didn't end there. The referee looked at his watch. Just 30 seconds remained. Bluebridge restarted quickly, trying to snatch the win. But in their haste, they made a mistake, a misplaced pass in midfield. Redchester intercepted. Marcus, still full of adrenaline, picked up the ball and sprinted down the wing one last time. He crossed it into the box, and Ethan Cole, the 21-year-old wonderkid, jumped higher than anyone, connecting perfectly with his head. The ball soared through the air, past the diving goalkeeper, and crashed into the net. Goal! The stadium went wild. Fans were crying, screaming, hugging strangers. On the touchline, Redchester's coach dropped to his knees in disbelief. The scoreboard flashed: Redchester 3, Bluebridge 2. The referee blew the final whistle seconds later. It was over. The impossible had happened. In just 2 minutes, Redchester had turned defeat into victory. The players collapsed on the pitch, some laughing, some crying. The captain hugged Ethan tightly, whispering, "You've done it, lad. You've written history tonight." Cameras flashed everywhere. The commentators shouted over each other, trying to find words to describe what had just unfolded. "Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable," one screamed. "This is why we love football," said another. In the locker room, emotions were overflowing. The players couldn't stop smiling. The young hero Ethan Cole sat quietly, staring at the winning ball in his hands, still trying to process what he'd done. Marcus Dale came over and placed an arm around him. "You'll remember this night for the rest of your life," he said. Outside, fans sang for hours after the match. Streets filled with cheers, flags waved from cars, and social media exploded with clips of the winning goals. Across the world, millions watched the highlights in awe. Analysts called it the comeback of the decade. Even rival fans couldn't deny the brilliance of what they'd seen. For Bluebridge, it was heartbreak, a reminder that in football, nothing is guaranteed until the final whistle. Their coach, though disappointed, was gracious in defeat. "That's football," he told reporters. "Sometimes you dominate for 90 minutes, and still lose in the 94th. Credit to them. They fought till the end." As for Redchester, the victory reignited their season. The win wasn't just about points, it was about belief, unity, and the magic of the sport. Every child watching that night learned a lesson: never give up, no matter how late it is, no matter how impossible it seems. Because sometimes, one moment of courage can change everything. The match would go down in history, replayed in highlights for years to come. Commentators would still talk about that night when Redchester turned it all around. Fans would tell their children they were there when it happened, when hope, passion, and a last-minute goal made the impossible come true. Football is not just a game of tactics or skill, it's a story of emotions. It's about heartbreak and glory, despair and redemption. It's about 11 players who refuse to give up when the world thinks it's over. And that night, under the floodlights, before thousands of roaring fans, Redchester United proved it once again: the game isn't over until the final whistle blows.